A good start, though.
All right, welcome back to our podcast, ladies and gentlemen, a Rising Star podcast. My name is Glenn Spillman, and sitting next to me, as always, is Carl O'Leary.
How's it going, guys?
And we are sitting here on a nice, dreary, misty, cold day in Northern California. It's about 52 degrees outside, but it's the perfect weather to have a really cool podcast. Today's podcast is, as you guys know, we do different movie reviews, and in the beginning of our podcast, it's kind of our little niche, our little idiosyncrasy that we do. But we get a lot of questions, whether it's people we just talk to on a daily basis, through our website, Facebook, whatever. A lot of people, the two main questions we get from a lot of people are, A, I'm an aspiring actor, how do I get started? And the second one are from filmmakers, or even actors as well. You're a filmmaker nonetheless, but how do I start a film? I don't have all this money movies cost hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, and they give me all these reasons why they can't do it. Well, today, Carl and I are going to give you a simple 18-point list, a very brief introduction on how to start your first film. And that's exactly what I did. I believe it was back in, if I got my years correct, 2017. I've been acting for years, but I wanted to do a film. And I had a 2-page script that I was originally going to do, just a really short film. But then I got to thinking, I developed the storyline, characters, and before you knew it, it was like a 16-page script. And I hired Carl as the main actor alongside Jackie Dallas in a movie that we did called Hush Little Baby. And we even turned that into a short little series called Whispering Souls that we got 2 more installments to do. They're going to be, I think, pretty big. And I started out with the same simple things that I'm going to explain to you today. And if you have any questions whatsoever, we'll give you the information at the end of the podcast on how to get a hold of us, and we'll go from there. But we're going to start today with a really cool movie review, Terrifier 3, and Carl's going to start off talking about that and explaining a few things. And, Carl, do your thing, my friend.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Terrifier 3. This is the one we're reviewing right now. I've watched the Terrifier series from the first one to the third one. And I gotta say, it gets more graphic as it goes and more disturbing as it goes.
Yeah, it sure does.
But I like the film. It's very intensely graphic is the only takeaway where I'm like, sometimes I want to look away. And I never thought I would say that because I'm a horror fan. I love horror movies, and I've watched horror movies since I was a friggin' kid, from Freddy to Jason to Hellraiser. I mean, those are graphic movies alone, but
right.
Terrifier, holy.
That's a whole new ballpark.
It's a whole new ballpark of just graphic violence like I've never seen, and it's extraordinary. The character, Art the Clown, is brilliant. I love David Howard's performance with Art the Clown. He's unique. He's interesting. It's something like we've never seen, original idea. So it's a whole new character into the horror franchise, and I think it's fantastic. How this movie goes is like your typical Terrifier thing. He finds someone he's looking for, and he tortures them, right?
Yeah.
But he's after the main character, and he wants to pursue her to the final end of, getting rid of her. Now, the one thing that I wish I would see more in these films is a background behind this character.
Yeah.
Who is he? Where is he from? How did he originate? What is his purpose? Why is he doing the things he's doing? Why is he torturing these people? What is the whole... If I knew more about this character, I'd be more invested. Because I'm a story guy. I love stories.
Yeah.
And if you've got an origin story about a horror character, dude, I'm invested. I want to know. And that's the thing that I didn't get from Terrifier. Even though I like the movies, I like the idea, but I want to see an origin story of this guy. I want to know who the Terrifier is, especially if he's some sort of alien or demon or whatever. You know?
Yeah.
I want to know. I'm guessing he's a demon, but I'm not 100% sure, and I'd like to know for sure, like, what this guy is and what's his purpose and all that. The film was it's very interesting. Every time I see these films, I always have this thing where I'm like, do I really want to watch this graphic of a film? Because when I get into it, it's probably the most graphic you'll see.
Yeah.
And I've seen some pretty horrible films. But if you're not used to torture, or what I would consider torture porn, don't even bother. You know? If you can't handle it, don't see it.
Yeah, there were a lot of people in the theater that were throwing up and freaking out and leaving.
Yeah, some people can't handle that kind of violence. And if you're one of those people that think it's a movie like that is too much and too graphic, then don't see it. That's my advice. Just don't see it.
Definitely not kid friendly.
No, this is strictly for adults. Maybe a younger audience that's a mature audience, you know, like 17, 18. I mean, typically 18 and up.
Yeah.
But when you go into it, you got to realize what you're getting into and be prepared to be kind of maybe nauseous a little bit even. But it's a fantastic movie. That being said, I liked the story, the plot and everything, and throughout the whole franchise, 1, 2, and 3, I liked it all. I was like, okay, I didn't expect to see all this taking place. Sometimes I'll admit I had to turn away because it was just too much for me. I was like, oh God, I think I'm gonna. All right, just look away for a second and then come back. That's not normal for me. Normally I can handle it.
Right.
So that surprised me even. Totally new level of torture. But I'm not one for a torture. So I like a story. I like the campy horror films.
Yeah,
I like
too.
the quick kills. Get in there, smash them up, get out. You know, break the head, twist it all the way around, play with it like a soccer ball. I don't know. You know, punch a hole through his chest. Those kind of things I'm fine with. You could even rip his body in half, have his organs splayed all everywhere, but don't focus on it for too long, and don't stab it and rip it open and really investigate it, that kind of thing. Whatever. Point being is, this is a very graphic film, and you got to understand that going into it.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't really have much to say because I don't want to give away the film. Characters, the main characters are still in there, and they're still being pursued, and I'm sure they'll be pursued in 4. There's a 4 supposed to be coming out in October 2026, so I'll be looking for that, Terrifier 4, and that's supposedly going to take him into hell. So I'm thinking there might be an origin story there to do with hell. I hope so. He's a demon from hell, maybe? I don't know. But that would be fantastic. Looking forward to seeing more develop from this character, and hopefully we do get that origin story. That's what I'd like to see. And that's kind of my review. It's kind of a short review, not much of a, I don't want to give away details and such. I just want to give you my thoughts and opinions. What did you think of Terrifier 3?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the flip side of the coin. I'm a sick MFer, dude. I mean, I like watching that. People say, "Oh my God, you're a sociopath and you're this." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I just that stuff doesn't bother me." And but there is one scene. I'm not going to say it, but there's one scene in the film. I'm not even going to tell you what kind of scene or when it's going to happen, but it is a long, drawn-out scene of what he does to two people.
Yeah.
And it is very, very graphic and realistic. And that's probably one of the scenes where people kind of lost their lunch.
The prop guys on that one, because that is the most realistic I've seen with props. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, it really, really is. I mean, and I kind of, I got into horror film probably when I was 15, 16 years old. I was in high school and I hung around this guy. His name was Leif Yonker, and he really got me into films and acting and stuff like that. Because he was really into horror and really into that stuff. I never could go to the movies because I grew up in a highly religious family, and if you went to the movies, you were going to hell. So,
Jeez.
we on one weekend I was at Leaf's house, and we hung out with Burt Carranza, Pat Chapman, Leaf, and myself, and we watched the very first horror movie I ever saw was Dawn of the Dead.
Nice.
And then, Leaf, if you walked in his room, he had horror movie posters all over his wall, on the ceiling, everywhere. He made props, this, that, and the other thing.
That's awesome.
And he actually made one of his second.
I would have liked to see that room.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome. It was awesome. He's got a movie out that he did. It's called Darkness. It's a vampire film. And I implore you guys to look him up on Facebook. His name's Leaf Yonker. And look up Leaf Yonker's Darkness. And you can get some information on that. But that's how I got into horror movies. And I just kind of, I watched all the ones that Carl said, the Friday the 13th, the Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street, the Hellraisers, and anything that come out. I'd go to the video store. I would start with letter A, work my way all the way down to letter Z, and watch every single horror movie that I could.
Yeah, it was like me too. You go to the video store and just find any horror movie you could.
Right.
And if it was okay with Dad, which
Right.
luckily it was okay with my dad, it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, go ahead.
And our listeners are probably going, "What the hell's a video store?" Like the new generation.
Blockbuster. And
We
Hollywood
actually
Video, yeah.
went to a video store, and at first they had Betamax, those little small tapes, and then they came out with VHS tapes. They were in a box, and they had them out on the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
You go and you would pick one, you'd take it up to the counter, and you would rent it for a night or two, and it was just a whole fun experience.
Like a week or something you got to have.
Yeah.
You pay late fees
And if you
kept it
didn't
longer.
rewind it, you
Yeah.
had to pay a fee for not rewinding it.
Yep.
They used to have stickers on them says "Be kind, rewind."
Yep. I remember that. Yeah.
And so that's my love of horror movies. I like the film. I like the graphic. I like the story. There was one scene though that I saw that the listeners will know what I'm talking about. Art was doing his thing with somebody, and an entity or person, whatever you want to call them of some sort, is doing something while watching him that I won't tell you what it is. You'll know it when you see it. And I'm even thinking, wow, that was whoever thought that up is pretty twisted, but hey, I like it.
Yeah.
And kind of like Carl's, like, how did Art the Clown come about?
Yeah.
And that kind of is a perfect segue into the subject matter today, is how to start your first film. The first feature film that Art the Clown was in was the 2013 horror anthology All Hallows Eve. But the character itself appeared in two short films by, of course, Damien Leone, The Ninth Circle 2008 and Terrifier 2011. So basically what All Hallows Eve did is incorporated both of these earlier short film as segments within the narrative that he did. So my point by saying that is Art the Clown was born on a short film. And this is
That's pretty cool.
Exactly. And this is what I'm telling you guys to do. How to start your first film. So, first off, obviously, have an idea.
Yeah.
And it could be, and this is what I'll say. I'm not telling you what kind of film to make. You can make whatever kind of freaking film that you want. But I'm going to tell you, and Carl will attest to this, the 100% easiest type of film to make is a horror film.
Oh, yeah.
It's very easy to do. You could do it with minimal actors in one location and film it in a weekend. And I would implore you to at least search. I mean, there's all kinds of horror. There's kind of like A-level all the way to Terrifier type stuff and everything in between. So you come up with an idea, and then you write a script, obviously. So you might say to me, well, Glenn, I don't know how to write a script. Well, if you can, the best script writing program out there is Final Draft. Now, at the moment, it's the holidays now, so Final Draft is having some, it's, about a $200 program, but it's very, very easy to use and user-friendly. So I would implore you to do that. If you say, Glenn, I really don't have the cash to do that. All right, well, you got a pen or pencil, get some paper, and start writing out your script. Well, Glenn, I still don't know how to write a script. Well, you could do one of two things. You can go to our website, and we got articles and stuff up there that explain that, or you could just go to YouTube or Google it and be like, how does a beginner write a script? And it'll give you basic implements on how to write scripts. So basically, you have a what they call a scene heading. So you want to say, is it interior shot or exterior? Is it day or night? And where is it at? So if you go interior, cabin, night. So as you're filming, okay, it's going to be an inside shot. It's obviously in the cabin and it's nighttime. And then underneath that, you have the action. And you could do a couple sentences or a paragraph on explaining what the scene looks like, what's going on during the scene. And that'll set it up for the actor or actors and the director of photography to know how to set up the cameras and whatnot. And you could write out your script on a piece of paper. And if you absolutely have to, if you have a Windows computer, write it on Word. If you've got a MacBook, just open up Pages and type it out. You don't have to do a little bit of formatting, but do what you got to do with what you got, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Just create it.
Exactly.
If you have just a paper with a pencil, lined paper, just write out your idea.
Exactly.
So you have it. And then you can edit and fix it later and figure out how to do all that shit.
Exactly. It's Carl and I, we're writing a series right now. And when we're talking about character development and scenes and all this kind of stuff, we talk about, it's kind of like baking a cake. You start out with one ingredient, then you add a little bit here and there, here and there. You don't worry about what the cake's going to look like. Later, you can put the frosting on, but right now you're just building the cake. That's what Carl's saying. He's like, just have an idea. Write it down. Yeah. Keep a little tablet with you. And, if you got a smartphone, there's the notes. Your phone has notes in it, right?
Yeah.
So I've got an iPhone. He's got an Android, but it's got notes in it. So just jot down your ideas. And then after you do all that, you find your location or locations. If I were you, I would limit it to 2 locations. So maybe if it's inside an apartment, and then maybe they're traveling to a cabin out in the woods, and you can get your 2 locations. Make it simple, and then you could get more elaborate as you get more practice and whatnot. So after you do that, then you do there's free sites wherever you live. There's a casting site that you could use. And, or you could do, if you got a Facebook page, you could do it on, find a local group and do a casting call. And if you can't find actors, get your friends. If your friends can't act, well, you know what? It's your first movie, dude. You're not going for an Oscar. You're going in there to get your feet wet. But if you got friends that act, call the local, like around here, we have American River College. We've got Sierra College, Folsom Lake College, and Sac State that all have acting programs, theater programs, and film programs. Get your free talent from there, because you're going to have hungry actors that want to do stuff. And they will work for you.
And you got people right now that are doing films on Tubi and whatnot that aren't that great. They're like B films, but they're doing it.
Exactly.
And they don't look like they have any acting experience at all. They're just throwing out their ideas.
Yeah.
And they're getting them put out there. They're getting their feet wet.
Right.
So you can do it.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. You don't run a marathon. You at first you practice. And then you get better and better. You get more ideas, and you start meeting people that give you an idea here and there. And that's what you do. So after you find your actors, get what I call a skeleton crew. You do not need a bunch of people on set doing random shit. Excuse my language for my younger listeners. I had a very small skeleton crew. I had less than 10 people on set. I mean, the basic things that you need is a sound person, a camera guy or girl, whatever, but a camera person, someone that does the clapboard, and then have somebody around that, maybe a script supervisor if you can, or as all a script supervisor does is they'll read the script as the action is happening and see if things are going the way that they should be going. But if you can't get all that, just get a sound person, a clapper, and a camera person, and then you can have, like, when I worked on Hush Little Baby, I had a guy on set named Quentin, and he was the production assistant. He did clapper. He did a couple different roles. So one person can play more than one role. So you get your skeleton crew, and then if you want to raise some money for your film, get a little snippet about what your film's about, this, that, and the other, and there's 2 avenues I'm going to send you to. One of them is a GoFundMe. If you want to do just a regular GoFundMe, absolutely. But what I like to use is a site called Indiegogo. So Indiegogo is more of an elaborate site to where you could put up about what your film is, where it's at, who you are, you answer all the questions, who, what, when, where, how, and why. You can put a picture of yourself up there, this and that, but then you can create what you call incentives. So if someone gives you, say, $25, they'll get, like, I don't know, you can make whatever incentive that you want. You know, if they give, like, I raised some money for Hush Little Baby, I had an incentive for $250. So if you donated $250 to the project, I will write a specific scene personally for you in the film so you could act in it. And that's how I met a good actor friend of mine called Dave Maciel. He is a heart doctor and a cardiologist, and he gave the $250. I wrote him a really cool line in the film, and we had a great time. And that's one thing that you can do to get some buzz going. And when it comes to financial support, I mean, seriously, use your sphere of influence. Ask your friends, ask your family members, ask them to ask their friends, this, that, and the other. And you know what? $5 adds up quick. Anyone could pull out a $20 and say, "Hey, man, here's $20. Go for it." You know, you get 10 people, that's $200. You know, and it adds up really freaking quick. And I did Hush Little Baby for $1,000. Now, I'm not saying you got to have money to make a film. You absolutely do not. But it sure as hell helps with little tiny things. And you can go, like, I had a production assistant. Her name is Trish Chatterton. Not only was she my PA, but she was an actor in Hush Little Baby. She went out to Domino's Pizza, told them who we are, what we were doing, did whatever she did, and she got us like 10 free pizzas.
Nice.
And that's how we fed the cast and crew that day on Hush Little Baby. And it was all for free. You could do little, and that's another podcast in itself, but I could teach you tips and tricks on how to get stuff for free when filming. Try and film it over the weekend. So if you keep your script about 10 pages, that's about 10 minutes. And you could do it Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Do about 3¼ pages per day, and you could film it in a weekend. And to film 3¼ pages is a lot easier than what you might think. So do that. You could film it in a weekend. then obviously edit your film. And if you don't know how to edit, there you could either figure out how to do it by watching YouTube videos, or you could find, I could tell you what groups to go to. You could find, and even like I said, use your schools around as to your advantage, because there's a film editing class that if a student edits a film, they'll get extra credit in their class, and they'll do it for you for free.
Yeah, and keep it small at first if
Yeah.
you're not ready to do a full feature
Oh,
film.
yeah.
Do like you said, like 10 pages. Do 5 pages.
Yeah.
Just get your feet wet. Just start creating stories at small lengths. See what you can do with them, and then build as you get better.
Absolutely. And so then create a social media page for the film specifically. Like I had a Facebook page for Hush Little Baby. And I directed everyone towards that page. And then I have my own production company now. It's Cellar 13 Films. So I've got a community group on Facebook that I got like 1,600 members or something like that. But I pull from a lot of different elements that I could use just off of that group. So whatever social media platform that you want to use, I implore you, set it up specifically for your movie. And then also create a specific YouTube channel for the film. So say you're a filmmaker and say that you want to start a production company, create a name, or you could just set up the YouTube channel as the name of your movie, but set it up specifically for that so you could drive people to it, and do the essential necessities so it'll be seen out there. And then after that, promote your movie on social media. Dude, we live in 2025.
Yeah.
Everything that you do is online or social media or whatever. And you could easily, Carl and I was talking about that today. We're on different platforms, but two of the platforms that we use every day is Sora and TikTok. And if you want to share a TikTok video, you click a button, click another button, hit send, and boom, you just uploaded it to whatever, Facebook, YouTube, Lemon8, whatever.
Instagram.
Instagram. You can send it to your friends, whatever. So promote it on social media. Then there's a website called Film Freeway. Go to the website, set up an account, follow all the instructions, upload your film on there, and after you upload your film, you can submit it to film festivals. Now, on Film Freeway, say you do a horror movie. There is a specific platform group on Film Freeway just for horror films. You hit that, and you could there's paid ones and there's free ones. I obviously would recommend you to do free ones because it's free and you're not out any money. And then lo and behold, maybe you get an email in 2 weeks saying, congratulations, your film was selected for blank film. My first film, Hush Little Baby, the first time it got selected to a film festival was in Turkey, I believe it was. And then it's been accepted to several film festivals, and it's very exciting to know that your work that you did is seen halfway across the world by complete strangers that you don't even know.
Yeah.
And lastly, point number 18 is tell your family and friends to check it out on YouTube. Because the more views that you have, the better the SEO and the algorithm, to where a lot of more people will see your project. And it's all a numbers game. It really, really is.
You can pay them to advertise for
Yeah,
you.
absolutely you can.
And only a certain amount that you want for a specific amount of time, 3 days, a week, whatever. You choose the amount you want, how long you want it to be seen for.
Yeah.
And your views will go up. Or if you want more subscribers, they'll focus on subscribers. Basically, you choose what you're looking for to increase, and they will help you do it. So advertise.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh,
good way
yeah.
to get it out there, and you'll have more people watching it.
Carl's proof in the pudding. if you will. He did that. It's like $30 for 3 days.
It was $30 for 3 days on TikTok, and my views went up to almost 5,000. They're supposed to be up to 5,000. They were said to go up to 24,000 at the highest, but it looks like it's going to reach 5,000, maybe 6,000 views.
And that's awesome. And I
tell you that.
I'm, this is kind of the narcissist in me. I like look at my videos every day and I'm like, oh my God, I got 400 views in less than an hour. I'm excited. It really.
I'm guilty of that too. I'll be looking at my phone like a crackhead, like, oh my God, did I get this many views? Really? I'll be freaking out for no reason. It's just like, oh yeah, you went up like 3 views or whatever. But in this case, when I paid for it, I'll go up like thousands.
Yeah.
So that is something to actually like be freaking out about.
Yeah, and do you mind if I give them your Sora link?
Not at all.
All right. If you want to follow us on Sora, Sora, you could follow Carl. It's Carl O'Leary 1234, and he's got 200 videos on there?
Oh Jesus.
Maybe more. Because when I first started, you had like 130. And
I couldn't even tell you the number right now.
But he's got a shite ton, I'll tell you that, and they're all different. They're all.
And I'm constantly creating.
Yeah, I'm a crackhead too. I'm like every morning I'm doing like my limit of videos, which I think is like 17. I do it every single day. And if you want to follow me, Glenn Spillman 13 on Sora, and then you watch our videos and whatnot. And if you want, you could. Follow us on TikTok as well. And
yeah, don't forget the @ symbol before it.
Oh, yeah, the @ symbol. Absolutely. And if you want to join the community on Facebook, it's Seller 13 Films Community on Facebook. Or you could follow me, Glenn Spillman. You can follow Carl. You could, like I said, that's how you can get in contact with us. Ask us questions, whatnot, and if you want to go and see some of my work, glennspillman.com, you could check out, the stuff I've worked on, the movies I've been in, the movies I've done, written, directed, acted in, carloleary.com. You could check him out and stuff that he's got going on. If you want to book either one of us for a gig, we're more than happy. We'll act in your film for you. Crap, we love acting. That's what we do. That's what we live for, man. And we don't care if it's a short 5-minute film or if it's a feature film. We are the true people that want to help others in the film and acting industry succeed. We're not ball hogs. We don't want all the glory. We want to see other people succeed. And, and if you're hungry, we'll feed you. Absolutely. But anyway, folks, that's it for our podcast. Unless Carl has anything else to add to it.
No, I think that about wraps it up.
All right. So if you have any questions or maybe have some podcast topic ideas, you've got our information. Get a hold of us, and we'll see you next time, guys. Peace out. Be safe out there.
Later, guys.